Gary Goldstein at CMO Club, and I'm here with Martin Kihn. Martin, welcome. So Martin, there's so much conversation now, and you said earlier this phrase like the WWF match of big content versus big data. What are your thoughts on that?
It's like a celebrity death match, really. It's a fight to the death. Now, in reality, I think that certainly in the last couple of years, you've seen an explosion in the use of that phrase, big data or big content, by marketers. And actually, they've gone up in tandem. So there's a relationship between big data and big content. They're not in conflict. I really don't think there's any marketer who would say they're in conflict. And the truth is that big data or big content as umbrella terms are being applied to activities and disciplines that existed before. So they're not exactly new. What is new is the scale, the velocity, and the amount of money, the sheer kind of marketing dollars being put into these fields.
You used the word velocity, and it's the thing that most fascinates me as people struggle to figure out the right strategy, the right fit, the right conversation, or how to put the story forward. One of the things I notice is the loop gets faster and faster. The feedback from the consumer, the amount of sophisticated data and analytics that are available to us today, and then how do you respond to that in real time? And so that's part of the bigness of it, the big challenge of it, is to get that right. And that's sort of where you come in, yes?
It's frightening in essence. Because if we think about what used to happen is someone would visit a site and the publisher, Wall Street Journal, whatever, would have a spot and they'd serve up an ad that had been bought by a marketer. What happens today is I'll appear on a site, publisher's site, then that publisher will know something about itself and who typically visits the site. There'll be third-party cookies on my browser that are used by third-party data companies that are then triangulating information about other sites I've been to. There are then lookalike companies who have kind of built a statistical algorithm to show who I might be like. Then all of that's fed over to the ad server, who has a bidding war going on among different marketers who valued a person like me at certain levels, and they decide who wins the bid. That is then translated right back to the publisher, and all that happens in a millisecond as the ad is loading on the page.
I mean, the corollary to that, and enmeshed in that concept of the speed with which we are transacting our experience, is getting the right story told in the right way and delivering that. And that's not so much ads, that's in every category, right?
Yeah, that's where content comes to play. And I think it's a mixed blessing, but there is really a move toward personalization of the internet experience. Not just in advertising, but any site that I visit is using the data that they know about me to serve up a different website experience or a different mobile experience than somebody else. We don't often see this ourselves because we only see one experience. But if we were to sit side by side with someone who's quite different than us, they would be experiencing a different site, and this is quite routine through content management. So it's not just in advertising.
Which brings to mind a great question. There's a lot of, there's this sense upon the land of this chasm, this gap, and it's called mobile. In the context of marketing, and how do we navigate? What's effective and efficient and viable on our phones? And so can you translate that into the mobile frame?
Mobile's tough. There's a couple of problems, and I have to differentiate between tablet and smartphone. Tablet is a wonderful branding mechanism. In fact, there are brands like Audi that are designing their sites now, AudiUSA.com, tablet first. They're almost moving away from the desktop. So it's a wonderful way to view. It's a lean back. It's a good video consumption platform. The smartphone is very difficult for advertisers. It's small, and any kind of advertising that will appear is very disruptive. So the click-through rates, the response rates for mobile advertising is abysmally low. And in fact, one panelist this morning at the CMO Club at the Wall Street Journal was mentioning how disappointed they were in their mobile advertising response rates. That's quite common. People are trying to work it out. Facebook has a good model in that they've put the ads in the stream, and it actually comes recommended by your friends. So it's still advertising, but it's within your kind of native experience. So they've gotten as good as anyone can. The Twitter IPO is coming up as we speak, and they are going to rely quite a bit on mobile advertising dollars. So I would imagine they have something planned that'll be just amazing. We don't, I mean, I don't have the magic bullet. It's to be determined. But I do think that there's going to have to be a shift in the way people are thinking about advertising, away from banner, which is very much a holdover from the days of print and outdoor billboards. And these are ad units that people understood, that are kind of have certain dimensions and are static. Maybe they moved a little bit, but they're not working as well. People are quite blind and quite annoyed. The future is going to involve a combination of personalization that I was mentioning before, so knowledge about people, and creating advertising on the fly, so that the same way that I have a tailored site experience, I'll have my own tailored advertising experience. I, for instance, love the Bernese Mountain Dog. You may not know that, but I'm sure there's some data company out there that does. If there were an ad that appeared with a Bernese Mountain Dog in it, I would pay attention. That's just the kind of person I am. So you'll be seeing more of that crop up, highly personalized advertising. There's also going to be much more creative types of units that will appear. Not just animated ones, but things that take over the screen, things that kind of inhabit your tablet, and also things that give you some kind of utility. They'll have information in them that you want.
Well, fabulous.
Yeah.
A real pleasure, Martin. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.